The setting for the Old Testament book of Zechariah is probably about 70 years after the Israelites returned from exile. God's people were enduring all types of challenges, and they were wondering, has God abandoned his promises? Now, this uncertainty was actually given voice in chapter 1 of Zechariah by the angel of the Lord, who asked, Lord Almighty, how long will you withhold mercy from Jerusalem and from the towns of Judah, which you have been angry with these 70 years? Now, the book's title, of course, comes from Zechariah, son of Berechiah, who was a prophet that was given a series of various dreams and visions in order to encourage God's people to hope and perseverance. Sound familiar? Now, truth be told, most of us give up on our Bible reading plans long before we ever get to the book of Zechariah. And even when we do, the book can be hard to follow. Now, that said, we've talked about Zechariah before and its various connections to the book of Revelation. There's the four horsemen in Zechariah chapter 1 and Revelation chapter 6. Some connect the flying scroll in Zechariah 5 with the scroll found in Revelation 5. Zechariah chapter 3 verse 1 might not bear the same kind of connection, but you could argue there's a thematic connection with our topic in Revelation 12. In chapter 3, verse 1, Zechariah reports, then he, that is an angel, showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right side to accuse him. In Revelation 12, verse 9, the great dragon is called the ancient serpent, alluding to Genesis 3, where the serpent leads humanity into condemnation. It's for this that he likely derives the reputation quoted in verse 9 as the deceiver of the whole world and the father of lies referenced in John's Gospel chapter 8. Now, interestingly, the dragon is also referred to as Satan and the devil. Now, Satan is the Hebrew name for meaning accuser. The devil is the Greek term for the same. Now, why take up the space to give both? It seems to emphasize the adversary's central role of accusation. The second half of Revelation 12 verse 10 emphasizes as much. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down. Whereas the great multitude in Revelation chapter 7 are said to stand before the throne of God and serve him day and night, Satan has accused God's people day and night. But he's been thrown down. In other words, he's no longer permitted to accuse God's people. Why, or perhaps how, has he been thrown down? As we discussed last time, he was defeated. He was cast out by the blood of the Lamb. That's Revelation 12, verse 11. Now, like the high priest Joshua in Zechariah 3, who exchanged his filthy clothes for fine garments, we, numbered among the great multitude, will don white robes that have been washed and made white by the blood of the Lamb. One commentator summarized what is recounted in Revelation 12 this way: when Jesus completed his redemptive work for sinners and took his place on God's throne, Satan no longer could come before God to criticize the saints. Rather, Jesus is now there. Where Satan could at one time walk in and out before God, he is there as our advocate, rather than Satan as our accuser. What we read of Satan doing in Job, he has done for all humanity up until Jesus' victory. Revelation 12:12 continues, therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filled with fury because he knows that his time is short. He can no longer accuse us in the courtroom of the Lord, but he will surely accuse us to our own conscience. Then, as the great deceiver, he will whisper, how could God love you? How could he forgive you after all you've done? Christian brothers and sisters, let us guard our hearts and minds and remember what Jesus has done for us will never be undone. And the time of our adversaries' fury are coming shorter by the day. Have a great week.